I'm here in the attic with Adam Ortiz. What's up, Adam?
Hey man, what's going on? Happy to be here.
Rarely in your adult life do you find someone that you look at and you think, this is a possible long lost brother.
I know.
Not that we look the same, but I felt it.
I know. I kind of felt the same way just because, I wasn't really trying to meet anybody new. I never really am, but you just happened to be there, and we definitely connected more than I expected. I got a new close friend, so it's pretty dope.
It's a mess in this attic, lot going on, but there ain't no need to panic. Come on up and join, we getting wild, getting manic. Spitting truth for all you fanatics. Every week got something new to say. Ain't no filter, this shit coming straight from the brain. It's coming straight from the brain. Yeah, it's coming straight from the brain.
I never really am, but you just happened to be there, and we definitely connected more than I expected. I got a new close friend, so it's pretty dope.
It's kind of a burden, though, too, isn't it? Having a new friend.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you weren't willing to come over and party all the time, then yeah, maybe so.
For some context, most of you have already listened to or seen the pool party episode, which was a very personal, intimate truth about my situation, how you guys helped Jessica and I kind of get through some tough times with that, and that was just fortuitous and serendipitous for us. So I'm glad that you feel the same way on your side of it.
Yeah, it was super random when everybody came in and he just walked up to me and I was like, "This guy's just gonna come talk to me while I'm DJing," but normally it's not good. It's not,
that's
not a
annoying,
welcome
probably.
thing, But we hit it off and I was like, "Dang, this guy's actually pretty cool." All right,
Then
you were like the only one who would come talk to me because everybody was partying, and you'd actually come like make an effort, and I really appreciate it.
Well, we also what did we? I appreciate you saying that, but what did we really bond over? Japanese food,
Japanese culture, and
yeah.
You
made some yakitori that day, I think.
Yeah.
The first time I met you, and I was like, well, I got to get to know this guy. Sorry for not knowing the DJ etiquette. I try to avoid you more now when you're playing, but
oh no, yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah, that was cool. Definitely a good time. That pool party was pretty sick.
Oh yeah, this is not an invite, people. Okay, it's not an invite, but we're just it's a pretty recurring, awesome situation over there.
Oh yeah, every Saturday we play music by the pool if we can, if it's nice out. Otherwise, we're in the dungeon, in the basement.
I think you should probably clarify, Adam. When you say play music, the average bear, I'm into music, and even when I was told that, these people like music, they're going to have music going, like I didn't expect the layout and the situation you had going on. Explain what's going on.
That's nasty. That's the best fucking thing. Filthy.
I have been DJing for a long time, but my friends had not. So I actually had to teach my roommates how to DJ. Both of them. Actually, I taught Chad last year. I taught Mike a long time ago, but they both caught on really fast. Vito's actually been DJing for years too, so me and him go way back. And
those are the four main kind of staples at the house. Those four people you just named.
Yeah, and then even Ben, who's been coming over lately, he just started within the last couple months, and he's pretty good. So
yeah,
there's 4 or 5 DJs rotating constantly, playing everything from techno, minimal house music, deep house, soulful, jackin' house, like every genre, but pretty much besides dubstep, it gets played down there. So
every genre, pretty much in the electronic landscape.
Yeah. And then we go from like 2 p.m. to 5 a.m. Like it's a Saturday into early Sunday morning type of thing, and we go pretty hard. So
it's listen, some of you listening are probably thinking like you're not into techno, you're not into house music. I would say that I am not particularly either, although I am growing. It's growing on me majorly because of the pool party. But the key thing is when there's people that are actually committed to not only paying attention to the music to make sure it's on, but like actually making sure that it's all flowing well and that the songs aren't growing old and that you're not repeating tracks. That's a really nice thing at a party. Like it's not like when you're at most places and you're like, oh, we got to listen to this song again. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. No, like I definitely make an effort to never play the same song twice in a night. And I have so much music that I generally try to play stuff I haven't played in months.
You're acting humble. It was like our 5th pool party, and you said, "I'm like I still haven't repeated a track since you've been coming."
Yeah. I mean, it's just
a lot of hours.
Music that just goes back for years, and even in the past year, with COVID and stuff, I was just like hoarding music, buying hundreds of dollars of music from Beatport every week, and just my friends were coming over. I had to have new music. I feel like I can't play the same music over and over because I get sick of it. I guess I have music ADD when it comes to electronic music sometimes. A lot of it, I can play a lot. It's like really good. It's almost classic kind of, but yeah, I just have the need to like provide new stuff constantly. So I always end up with new music every week.
It's interesting because you have a very discerning ear, obviously, particularly trained to those genres too. But to a lot of folks, like, you're so particular, but like a lot of people probably won't even recognize the same track because you're mixing them and you're like, depending on what relationship it is with the other mix, it's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. A lot of people probably don't notice, but I spend a lot of time digging through music. There's a lot of garbage that I do not buy. I'm very picky about what I buy. I'll go through hundreds of tracks and find 20. It's just, I'm not just downloading whatever.
Right.
Beatport top 10. It's like you're going in there finding whatever sounds good, different.
So when you buy something through Beatport, what does that allow you from a licensing perspective? Like, are you able to mix that out in public at a show?
I believe so. I hope so. I mean, I haven't played live at a show in, probably like eight years or so. But
it's just a hobby for you now.
Yeah,
but a serious hobby though. But
yeah. Yep.
And a serious hobby that's about to experience a bit of an influx of new tech.
Yeah.
So explain what you've got now. Like, you don't need to get super techie, but I've had some DJs and some other music producers on here before, and some of the feedback I get from the audience is, that's cool, she seems cool, he seemed cool, but what exactly does a DJ do?
Oh yeah.
And I really I watch you a lot now because I can't talk to him, as he said at the beginning. And so I kind of have a better vibe or better feel for exactly what you're up to, but like, kind of explain what you've got from an equipment perspective on a high level. And then explain what you're doing. Like, why is it difficult for me to come talk to you when you're playing music, when you're disc jockeying? Yeah.
So the equipment that I'm running right now is, as far as my mixer goes, it's a Native Instruments Tractor Control S4. It's got 2 platters on it, 4-channel mixer, so you can plug in vinyl and stuff if you want. But we're pretty much just playing 2 channels. Using Tractor on our laptop, and
Tractor is like just the interface
software,
the DAW, the interface.
Yeah, so it shows you the waveforms and lets you match the beats up and go through your whole library and pick your tracks and sort them and all that fun stuff. So, but then while you're mixing, you're trying to.
So when you say while you're mixing, explain what that means.
Yeah, so when I'm up there and you got your headphones on, you're listening to what everybody else hears, obviously through the speakers. But what you're really trying to do is find the next track and get it set up that you can layer it on top of the one that's already playing. So oftentimes you're taking, let's say like an 8-bar loop or something, and trying to beat match it with the other track to get it to overlap. So you get basically, so it's a cohesive piece of music that flows together,
Right.
And so you're trying to get it to sound like it fits in with what's already playing, and then slowly blend it so you can swap it over and make the actual transition.
And this, obviously, the transition would vary widely based on the situation, based on the genre and everything. But generally, are you trying to do seamless transitions, or are you like mixing in drops and things like that?
Depends on the track. Sometimes you bring it in during a drop. It really depends on how much is going on, because you don't want like conflicting melodies. If you're about to like change key from one track to the next, then you got to make sure the keys line up, or there's some sort of like chord progression going on.
Right.
But a lot of times you'll just wait towards the outro of the track because they're all structured to be mixed out of. So, and then the new track, they all have intros that are meant to be mixed into. So you layer those together, and then melody ends and the other one starts, and it's just a natural thing if you time it out right. It's all about timing.
That's interesting because like, I'm just trying to learn music production just for my own purposes. And as a music fan of kind of traditional rock and roll pop kind of stuff, like the end of the song sometimes has like some of the coolest expression. You know what I mean? Like the way that the drums kind of terminate or whatever, however that all goes, is sometimes like really climactic. Whereas you're saying for these genres, they're mixed, they're intended to mix into another song, so they're kind of always, they usually drop components down to just the bass drum usually at the end, or until there's just percussion. Usually there might be some underlying something else going on there, but usually it's not too intrusive on whatever else you're trying to mix in. Yeah.
Some of them are not. Some of them end in, you have 30 seconds to mix out and it's still got a lot going on, and you just have to have the right next track. So
yeah,
it's all situational. But
so when you're sitting there with your headphones on, you have on your controller, you have the ability to swap from the track that's not being heard, or both tracks, or all four in the event that you're running four. So you can check each channel individually. You can check that, you can monitor exactly what the dance floor is hearing
and what's coming up and what they sound like together. So,
and you're controlling that with a separate knob just for the headphone monitor.
Yeah, there's a knob that's like all the way to the left is what you have queued up coming up next that the audience can't hear. All the way to the right is what they can hear. Then in the middle is both equally, and then you can kind of adjust
pan
left and right
yeah.
to hear what it would sound like if you only brought it 3/4 of the way up or something. So, yeah. It's all about getting it to sound right when you bring it in. So,
I mean, I don't hear a lot of. I think you called it a train wreck when you kind of like screw up the beats or whatever. Like, I haven't heard you do that. I'm sure you maybe have, but in your maybe the old days.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard nowadays, especially with software and stuff to help you out. And once you got it synced in and lined up, then it's just fine. Unless you're really not paying attention. Like, if you're not paying attention and some things they keep playing and you're letting it play into some breakdown, it sounds really awkward. It can be weird.
Yeah, well,
you just gotta.
You're always paying attention at them.
Yeah, you got to hear it and then like adjust really quick. You know,
right?
That's the big thing is being able to recover within like a second or adjust. You know,
right. So at one point in your life, though, when you were just getting out of high school or actually in high school, you had a different relationship with DJing in terms of like that. It was like you were kind of wanted to do that full on, right? Or did you never really want that to be like something that you're pursuing as a career or something?
It's funny actually. I started DJing because I really liked electronic music, but I didn't like listening to other DJs' mixes because I didn't like the tracks they were playing. I'd only like a couple of them. So there's
a necessity thing.
Yeah, so there was no point in. I basically just had to get all the tracks I wanted and mix them into a mix myself that I would enjoy to listen to.
Yeah.
So I made mixes for myself, and then people started to hear them, and they were like, "Well, will you come like play?" And
this is high school area.
This was like right after I graduated high school. So when I was in college, there's a lot of wild stuff going on, but yeah, started playing bar gigs here when I was 20, and we kind of helped grow the electronic music scene in Grand Rapids. There weren't like a lot of
it's blown up since then.
There weren't a lot of electronic music nights. I mean, the ones that we played were the only ones that were happening, pretty much. So, it just kind of came up, and then played a couple camp out music festivals. Played the Grand Rapids Electronic Music Festival here, Grand Rapids Electronic Music Night. I think it was it was right down in Calder Plaza.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. They had Darude there one year.
Hell yeah.
He was one of the headliners. So, but yeah, it was a fun little come up as like a local artist.
Yeah, of course.
I definitely thought it was going to go somewhere, but then I started working for Apple, and I was like, well, I got a career now, so I can't really like.
Well, that's the thing.
DJ.
That's the thing. Like, you were going to school at Grand Valley, going into what, computer information sciences? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, computer information systems. Yeah.
Systems.
Yeah.
And then you started working for Apple as your first big boy job?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I would definitely consider that my first big boy job. Yeah.
And what did you like about Apple? Because I know you had a lot of respect for the place.
Yeah, I mean, even though I'm no longer with them, it's a great company. They got a great culture. They take care of their employees, great benefits. It's just very supportive culture, very inclusive.
Customer service is great, right?
Yeah, I mean, they trained me how to be the best at customer service, and I was always at the top. But yeah, I was very appreciative of my time there because I learned a lot of smart people there, and yeah.
And you're also
nice
probably
people.
I don't think you're breaking any laws, but you're also probably like taking those learnings and absolutely applying it to your new situation.
Yeah,
I talk about image wash products and kind of what your responsibility is there. And before we get into that, Adam is going to be a recurring guest on the show because I'm a recurring guest at his pool party, so it only makes sense. So rather than doing a complete deep dive today where we talk for an hour and a half about Adam's whole upbringing, we're just going to piecemeal some stuff together. Next time you see him, he'll be on the show again when he and I and another friend, Vito, are actually going to the only remaining Hot Now. We believe in the country, so we're just going to say it.
Yeah, we're going to say that. We're going to that.
The last Hot Now in the country is in Sturgis, Michigan.
World.
In the world.
Galaxy. The last one.
We think.
In the universe.
There may be a multiverse in which that place, instead of Panera blowing up, Hot Now blew up or something.
I think, they probably were the McDonald's instead, like McDonald's fizzled out. There's one left in Sturgis, Michigan, but in that universe, Hot Now's the shit.
Well, in this universe, Hot Now will only exist in Sturgis, Michigan, and we will absolutely be taking the lengthy road trip. We'll document it. We'll try and get some participation with the actual restaurant a little bit. It would be fun. We're thinking about doing a situation where we order one of everything, which would require either coordination or lots of spit in our food. So we're going to have to get the restaurant involved in order to probably make that happen. But
to get extra spit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that's one of the best things about Hot Now. 39-cent burgers. and no telling how much spits in there. Right.
I think that kind of goes with anywhere.
So I bring that up only because today's interview may be a little bit all over the place, and it may seem like we don't there's a fly in here. See,
Yeah, sure.
He's already lost concentration. So that was Adam Ortiz. We'll see you next time. Okay.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. These guys, you're going to love this guy. We need to come up with a nickname for him in the podcast realm. Do you have any suggestions?
Ooh, man, in the podcast realm?
It can be the same, and it can be the same nickname you use elsewhere.
I don't really have a nickname. The only nickname I have is what my dad always called me growing up, which was ad man.
Ad man.
Which actually works out now because now I'm an ad man. So
okay, what a perfect segue. Wow. Thanks, Counselor Ortiz.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Let's hear why ad man would also work for you now, and we'll dovetail that back into image wash products.
Yeah, so a couple years ago, Mike got me into doing some marketing, like Facebook ads and things, and running social media pages for local businesses around here. Ended up getting pretty good at it, and they needed somebody at Image Wash Products to come in and do Facebook ads and social media management and actually do that. So I came in, the budgets were all super low, and it was hard to start out. We basically grew that brand from nothing to, not nothing. They had customers, right? Mostly local, but
it didn't have a big internet presence. Though.
Yeah. But yeah, we came in and scaled it like incredibly in the last year. And the place is unrecognizable from where it was last year. And I pretty much just run the social media. I run the ads. I coordinate all the ad management with like our Google Ads teams and develop our marketing strategies, edit some videos here and there. It's a small company, so you have to wear a lot of hats. Wear a lot of hats. So yeah, I make up my job every day pretty much, and just rock it out. Whatever needs to get done, we get it done. There's nothing that's above or below me. If the job needs to get done, I'm going to do it. So
I think it's funny because the primary target of your products, although there's applications outside of this, tends to be heavy trucking industry.
Yeah.
Semi trucks.
Yeah.
And of course, farm equipment. We'll talk about this more as we go, but like there's all sorts of things you can do with it. But the trucking industry tends to be heavily male dominated. They're not on their phones because they're driving a lot of times.
Yeah,
they're maybe be a little bit less trusting of buying stuff online.
Most definitely.
And so that's another challenge you had is like you're trying to sell a product online to a group of people that don't want to buy stuff online.
Yeah.
So how did you? Was that daunting at first, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really daunting. You just overcome it with better creative. That's always the option, because if people aren't sold by watching the video or the way you respond to them when they comment negatively on your video, then they're just going to move on like very quickly, especially in social media. You got to catch their attention instantly, otherwise they keep scrolling. So the key is like, especially when you're developing creative, is to have some sort of hook within the first 3 to 6 seconds that like they need to watch the rest of this. They're locked in now. So that's really the biggest challenge. And if you can nail that, and it just was a matter of testing,
figuring out what that is.
Yeah, you just keep making videos until you find a combination that works. And so even now when we make creatives, we kind of structure them the way we have for the past year since we found out what the magic formula is.
We can't talk about that here because you don't want to give it away, but like,
give away the secrets.
But it's visual and it's probably text. Like, how do you do it? Without just showing like a sexy person on the front or something,
Yeah, you just have to get really good close-ups of what the product does, with the product performing, because that's all people really care about it. And the biggest thing with people, because they think you're trying to pull one over on them, right? They're like, oh, you waxed that truck before you started, didn't you? Like, no. So you got to get the shots showing.
Dirty to clean.
Yeah, dirty to clean, or yeah, exactly. You need to make it very crystal clear that the product you're showing is doing that thing.
Right.
And then, having the text, because they always have a million questions, so you try to address as many concerns as you can in the text in the ad. And 30-day money back guarantee. These are the top 3 things that it does. Helps you save time, whatever. And then, call to action, like get yours today. Limited supply.
Right.
Limited time sale, whatever.
Right.
So it really depends on what you're doing, but yeah.
And then of course with any sort of product like that, which is a support product to a process, it's a chemical. Yeah. So much of it depends on the technique used by the person cleaning their truck. Yeah. And so you have to deal with it just like you did at Apple, people not knowing how to use technology and complaining to you why it's your fault. You have to get a lot of complaints from people. Not a lot, but I mean, like, of course, not everyone out there is going to do it the right way, and then they're going to think it's the soap's fault or something.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of those people. Thankfully, most of our customers are pretty smart and they know what they're getting into. You know, they read the instructions or watch the video enough to know, because we do put out educational content showing people how we get those results we show in our video
with actual like angles listed and techniques and stuff like that.
Yeah, everything down to the little tip we have in our pressure washer gun. Everything is important. It flies back, and every little detail is important, and they pay attention to it. So yeah, there are some people that are they think it's spray and pray. Like, I put the soap on there, got my garden hose, and it's good to go. And they're like, I put the soap on there, got my garden hose, and it's good to go. And they're like, I put the soap on there, got my garden hose, and it's good to go. And they're like, I put the soap on there, got my garden hose, and it's good to go. And they're like, I put the soap on there, got my garden hose, and it's good to go. And they're like, I put the soap on there, got my garden hose, and it's good to go. I put the soap on there in my garden hose and it's good to go. And they're like, I put the soap on there in my garden hose and it's good to go. And they're like, it's still dirty. It's still dirty. 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 Okay, well, you got to do it right still. Like, it's not some magic sauce you pour on your truck and it's good to go,
It strips everything off there.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, there's definitely technique, but we try to, that's part of the process. If you can educate people on how to use it, then they're going to be more likely to buy it.
Right. Yeah, because you're giving them content that they can apply to other products too. And there's kind of a trust being built by doing that, I feel like.
Yeah. And that's how we get away with, keeping kind of a clean brand is, we just show the product work, because the products work. They're really good. And if you just use them correctly, you'll get the same results. And we wash show trucks for, truck shows, like really gorgeous, perfectly polished trucks.
Right.
Like, we're not going to use some garbage on that. You know what I mean? Like, all our stuff's really good.
Yeah, it's a premium product.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a step of, it's in the segment above like Armor All and those things. I would imagine.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah. From a price point perspective and from a quality perspective.
I mean, even a lot of our chemicals, like today we were talking about how one of our competitors, they have an iron remover that is basically like 70% water, and they sell it for X amount of dollars. Ours is maybe a couple dollars more, but it's
concentrated.
It's concentrate. Like, that's gonna work real good. You could water it down to their level and get like 6 times the amount out of it. So
not to mention that reduces your shipping costs as well. Why do you have to ship water across the country?
People have water already, so like, we'll ship you the concentrate and you just get the job done. So
right now, who is your customer in terms of? I'm sure there's multiple, right? But like, are you targeting a guy that has a truck who's a driver who takes care of his truck? Are you targeting businesses whose company motto or purpose is to wash trucks for people? Like, what is the market?
All of the above.
Yeah.
You got detailers, you got owner operator, drivers who own their truck and they want to take care of it because
it's their investment.
Exactly. Then you have the people buying it for their company to wash fleets, things like that. Just farmers, a lot of farmers, because they, that equipment gets dirty out there in the fields and they need a lot of soap because that stuff is huge. So.
In the surface area, it's all hidden. Yeah, it's all like, yeah.
So, I mean, those big trucks, big farm equipment, that stuff needs a lot of soap. And, that's why we do the concentrates and we make sure it works good. No, make sure it's safe on all their stuff too.
If you people are listening, and if you folks are listening,
if you're not too bored by the soap talk, like I mean, like, I'm sure not everybody's like, yeah, truck soap, I want that. Yeah,
we're gonna have some suds, kind of in the YouTube format. We'll have like some close-ups of some suds, some brushes hitting the.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
What was
I got some good footage you can use of Mike getting real soapy, or like Todd dripping some soap on his head while he's up there with the brush getting it. So we got plenty of B-roll for you if you need it.
That's a nice chemical reaction.
You're barefoot right now. So you're more comfortable doing podcasts? Do you always do podcasts barefoot?
I do. I see people looking at it sometimes.
Like me?
But do bare feet gross you out? No. You're a foot guy.
I'm not a foot guy.
So someone told me that
officially we're making the transition from truck soap to foot talk. Unless you're hearing it.
We should just make this clear now. Image Wash Products, it's a company that prides itself on cleaning it's a product
feet.
that cleans stuff, right? And it's also the company tenets are very much clean too. It's a family value, high family values. They're not going to use sex to sell their products.
True.
And that is why we're going to put a hard stop on the image wash products right now so we can get filthy. Okay. Is it true that someone's feet were in your mouth recently?
Recently, no.
Okay. But
in the past, there have been feet in my mouth. Sure, yeah.
I mean, feet are. I think I like.
Who hasn't had a couple toes in their mouth? You know what I mean?
Have you? What's the most toes you ever had in your mouth at one time?
I think the whole front of the, like all
the way to the
5,
ankle.
Yeah, I mean not 10. That's too many toes, but I don't know how many toes is too many. But 5 was. It was an amount that was in there.
Too much is never enough. That's what I always say.
Okay. Well,
I like a good foot as well, but Jessica's foot. I'm pretty exclusive on Jessica's foot now.
Is it the left or the right foot, or you don't mind either way?
It doesn't matter. It's just based on location and convenience, really. But then, because I'm a foot guy, I tend to be self-conscious. I have a long, flat. I wouldn't want to put my foot in my mouth.
I mean, I'm with you there. I don't think I've ever tried to suck my toes. To my knowledge, maybe when I was a baby.
Well, yeah, but would you want to put my foot in your mouth is what I'm asking.
Oh, well, I don't think I'd want to put any man's foot in my mouth, to be honest.
It's
Yeah,
dirty.
it's
I've been walking around outside.
Black. I hope you can get that on the camera. That's great. Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's on there. Yeah.
That is, that's like a Fred Flintstone situation.
Yeah.
There's actually like an embedded piece
natural.
of
It's good
gravel.
for you. Walk around barefoot.
Wow. Well, we share another common bond. And it's not just a perversion to feet. Dave on FXX.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which,
man.
if you folks are listening to this or watching this and you're unfamiliar with what Dave is, how dare you?
Hi, I'm Dave. Who's Dave? Hi, I'm Dave. Little Dicky. Hi, I'm Dave. Please watch. Hi, I'm Dave. Who's Dave? Hi, I'm Dave. Little Dicky. Hi, I'm
Little
Dave.
Dicky's show. It's autobiographical, but of course it's like more surreal and it's a unique vibe. So Adam and I, this will be the second time, we've only met a couple months ago. This will be the second time tonight that we watched Dave together.
Yeah. Sure.
What do you love about Dave, the show? You're a creative person.
No, I love basically his perspective on life, and it's just very real. All the characters are very relatable, you know, whether it's the girlfriend or the ex-girlfriend or, you know, Gata or, you know, Dave with his, you know, being insecure about certain things about yourself and, you know, it basically normalizing a lot of different things, whether it be your emotions, how you feel, your mental health, your, you know, they did that whole episode of Gata on mental health.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, incredible.
Yeah. He had a strong resistance to wanting to take the medication, which is something that people struggle with, understandably so.
Yeah.
I also like that a lot of those folks in that show are not like actors. Do you know what I'm saying?
Who's not an actor in there?
Gata wasn't.
Okay, yeah.
Little Dicky wasn't. Andrew Sortino is a comedian. You know, I'm not saying they're not good. I think that there's a pace and a slickness that comes with really skilled actors.
Yeah.
And there's an awkwardness that comes in Dave, and it was really evident at the beginning of the series. But I like that. It's more how people talk.
Yeah.
People don't talk all smooth. There's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's very very informal. It's very natural. That's what I like about that show. All the dialogue is just very real. It doesn't feel scripted.
Right.
It feels like it's happening, you know, and very raw emotion sort of thing.
Yeah. What are some other movies and shows and things like that you like? Well, and also we need to talk music outside of the DJing too, because I know I know some of the stuff you like, and I think we should talk about that. Like, what is some other music you like? You know, this is going to be rapid fire here.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my like guilty pleasure with music, because that's what always throws people off. Because, you know, I play techno and like house music and stuff, but K-pop. I love K-pop. Like, big Twice fan. You know, I don't know if you listen to K-pop.
No, but I'm not. But I'm not judging at all.
You might. It's okay if you are. You know,
no judgment. Hell no. I've seen the J-pop thing in Japan, and they're also big fans of K-pop in Japan too.
I used to listen to Japanese music, Ayumi Hamasaki, when I was in high school. I always liked, you know, I don't care if I don't know what they're saying. You know, if I like the melodies and the, you know, the catchiness to it.
House and techno rarely has lyrics, and when it is, it's kind of like a basic refrain that is sometimes indecipherable anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't know. This is my guilty pleasure, seeing like those girl groups over there with their dance moves, and it's like, I don't know. It just makes you feel good. It's like happy music. I don't care.
It is. It is.
What about, definitely doesn't seem like my kind of thing. But
you also like the Beach Boys, which is a big reversal from K-pop.
Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place.
I appreciate that. You're an
Yeah.
eclectic guy. That's why
Yeah.
this interview is going to feel as such.
Yeah.
But what do you like about the Beach Boys?
Just their evolution of music, basically from like when they started and where they ended up, with after all the acid and
Yeah.
the weird stuff that happened after Pet Sounds and Smiley Smile and
That's your favorite one, Smiley Smile.
yeah, I'd say that's definitely the best Beach Boys album. Close second, Pet Sounds, but yeah, Brian Wilson, very talented, and I like all the different harmonies and everything. Like Beach Boys are just
It's unique. It's so
very
unique.
unique.
It holds up so well too. Like I think the Beatles hold up. I think Rolling Stones hold up, but it's kind of cheesy sometimes.
And the Beach Boys don't. Not to say the Beach Boys weren't cheesy at times,
No,
but
they were, but like the
Yeah.
sound, more like the sound production of it is just like
Yeah.
it sounds modern. It sounds like they were embracing new things.
Yeah.
They used to use that one instrument that you just put like wires close to the.
I've seen that. I don't know what that's called. It's
No,
like,
either they
does
like
it have
move,
a name? Or is that just like,
they move like a wire closer to the thing and it
Yeah.
makes like a resonant kind of
Yeah.
sound. They were using that shit in the '60s. Like that's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, I grew up with that stuff though. My mom always liked the Monkees, Davy Jones and hey with the monkeys, people say we monkey around. Like I heard that shit so much when I was growing up. That was good times.
So you have a good relationship with your parents.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
They're both still with us.
Yep.
Yeah, you still see them quite a bit.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I see them all the time. At least every week, I try to see them. At least drop off my dog so they can visit with them because they like Oliver a lot. So
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Oliver yet.
yeah, how do you not talk about Oliver?
I mean, I'm scarred just because
Such a big part of my life.
he really he aggressively humps Newsy when he's over,
Yeah.
but it's not a Me Too situation because Newsy tends to enjoy
I
it.
think he likes it.
You
Yeah.
can't rape the willing situation.
Yeah, he's into it.
But what I find interesting is at times Newsy will actually back himself into a corner such that his anus isn't exposed. Not that there's penetration going on.
Oops, I'm stuck. Oh man. Oh,
Well,
shoot.
that's part of it too. But he'll get to the point where none of the back half of him is available to Oliver whatsoever.
Mhm.
But Oliver will just mount the side of him, just start like humping the side of his arm. It's hilarious.
He likes the side jobs. Yeah, he's into it.
The reason I bring that up, Adam, is does he get that from his dad?
Oh, no. No, I'm celibate. So
Explain celibacy.
no, I'm not.
It's all part of image. We have to sign a contract when we work there. We have to be
It's
celibate.
very clean image. Yeah. I shouldn't have even been drinking this beer.
No. So Adam and I had KCM tonight, which is on Diamond and Wealthy, essentially. Diamond and Cherry, Diamond and Wealthy. Holy smokes! We had katsu
Yeah,
and some like Colby
Oh.
tacos. Oh,
that's so good. I love Japanese curry in general, but the katsu on top is you always got to have your little fried crunchiness. So
oh yeah, and it's the Japanese fried stuff is like it's not as deep fried. It's like airier and like
I think it's just like the panko just
There's more-
makes a difference. There's more surface area for crunch to get in, or I don't know.
it doesn't have that heavy feel. Like
It's very
we
light,
had,
flaky.
we had tonkatsu and chicken katsu, which is like pork and chicken cutlets fried, but like none of the grease tends to get into the meat. I don't feel like.
Yeah, say so tender and just
Yeah.
I think they just pound it out so good, and it's just such a quick. Yeah, I don't know what they got going on, but it's good.
Let me tell you. So Adam's a man of many interests, of course, but he's a man of many tasks as well. So when we go to their house for the pool party, he's not only operating the DJ equipment at least half the time, most of the time, and then at the end of the night, it tends to be your full-time guy, and that's like the final 6 hours often. But somewhere in there, you tend to take a break from DJing, and you always whip up, for the most part, something special in the kitchen.
Yeah,
You're a good cook.
yeah. I like to think I am. People like to eat it, so
You're good. You are super good at it. You take a lot of time, just like anything. Like
Yeah.
people, Adam wasn't born a good chef, and he wasn't born a good DJ. He worked at all this stuff. Do it,
Yeah.
and now he's the life of the party all the time. What's your favorite thing to make?
It's gonna be close. Probably, if it's something quick, I'd say smash burgers. If it's something long, like a longer process that I'm putting a lot of time and energy into, I'd say ramen. Like making a ramen broth from scratch over the course of like 2 to 3 days. Like
What goes into a ramen broth?
a lot of bones, water, and time. That's
Is there
pretty
like
much
soy
it.
or anything like that, or like miso or anything like that in it?
Yeah, I mean, after you're done, like your broth doesn't have that in there. That's like what your tare is for. That's like the seasoning. So
Yeah.
it's like more a heavy concentration of like dried fish and soy sauce and whatever other thing. Basically, an umami power sauce that you put like a tablespoon into your bowl, and then you put your ramen broth in. And
The
it
ramen broth is
mixes.
pretty subtle and bland,
Yeah,
almost. In
so
a way.
it kind of
Yeah.
gives it the saltiness from the soy sauce, and then you get all your umami from the fish flavors and things like that. So
Yeah.
it like it elevates the whole pork broth when you've got a good tare. So,
Yeah.
but ramen. I mean, as you can see, I've made some I've made some ramen. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really fun process. If you've never made ramen broth or ramen from scratch, I can't even say I made ramen from scratch because I skipped the noodles.
Yeah. Are they
I do feel
buckwheat?
guilty about that. I have to bring it up because or else my conscience is going to be messed up. People
You
think I'm
said
making
broth.
my
You were saying
noodles.
broth though.
True. Yeah.
But are they buckwheat noodles usually? Like soba?
No, they're like alkaline noodles. So you get like flour, then you bake baking soda to make it super alkaline, and then
Mhm.
it's like a process. It's weird. I don't quite understand the science of it, but
And it's yeah.
it's more like
unfortunate.
chewy. I
It's
guess.
unfortunate that most folks, including my own, like first exposure to ramen tends to be like the Manchurian. I don't even know what it's called. The
Yeah.
Manchurian
Yeah.
bricks that are just like
Yeah,
30
the
cents and like
yeah.
the worst, most high sodium food you can get.
Oh yeah,
It's not at all representative to what real broth is, what real ramen is.
no. And what we get here even at a restaurant, like a ramen restaurant here, like it's still not where Japanese ramen is.
No.
So it's.
Have you been to Sapporo on 28th though?
I have.
It's not bad.
It's good.
It's available, right? It's better than
I think
not having that.
I've had every ramen in Grand Rapids. I think the best ramen's at Ginza, hands down. But yeah, their tonkatsu ramen there is really good.
Is that what I was supposed to get today?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we want a KCM. We
We
want
want a
a
KCM.
katsu curry.
And you're drinking Asahi. Put that up to the camera, just because this is Asahi
Yeah, he picked
super
up some
dry.
special beer for me. I actually was in the Asahi building in Japan. It's like shaped like in Tokyo. It's shaped like a beer mug. It's really cool.
It's like colored like a beer mug, and then it's got like a foam like structure on top too.
Yeah, that's where the bar is at the top. Super cool and overlooks Asakusa. It's a really pretty area.
What was your favorite thing about Japan? Food. Not I know the food and all that, but like, what was your favorite cultural aspect of it,
The people.
and how so?
Everybody's very friendly. They're very
Deferent, respectful.
very respectful. Like everybody, they give you your space. There's no like overcrowding of like when you're on the streets. It looks really busy, but there's room for everybody, and they're being very careful not to like be in your space.
Oh yeah.
So, and like even when you're on the escalators and everybody moves to one side and the fast people can walk up, and everybody just knows like it's just unspoken things about their culture and the way they move around. Even it's just
They're rule followers, and I don't mean that in a negative way
Oh,
whatsoever.
no, I was very impressed with it. Like
It's the only way you can be when you have that many people in that small of an area. Look, people, a lot of folks assume that what they see in China, and this is no disrespect to China, but like that they kind of there's some disambiguation or whatever the fuck that's called. Where like people just assume China and Japan are the same, and holy smokes, they're not. And the biggest one for me that I've recognized in my personal experience is just like the traffic flows.
mm-hmm.
I mean, like people, it's busy as hell. Even at the famous, is it Shibuya, where there's like
Shibuya
9,
crossing.
the 9 crosswalks and everything that you've seen on Jackass back in the day and all that. Like that seems confusing and shit until you're there, and it's actually not that confusing.
Just like their subway system. Like it seems daunting, but after you're there for like a couple days, you're like, oh, okay, I just need to get on here, whatever.
Yeah. So you went there just for fun,
Yeah,
just
Mhm.
solo
Yeah, I went with friends, but
with friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you traveled quite a bit?
Just to Mexico many times. Then family trips across the states and stuff.
Yeah.
Canada here and there, and then Japan.
But we're gonna go to Japan next year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta take a piss.
Adam's gonna take a piss. We're gonna head to Japan. We're gonna head to Japan.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a moment. We're back.
Hello.
Let's do a series of vocal exercises.
Ugh.
That sounded beautiful.
Ooh, I love you, Kirk. You're beautiful. I wanna touch your little butt right to your soul. If you want me to touch your feet, baby, I'll do it. Get the toe jam out your nails and I'll chew it. Yeah.
Okay, we did talk a little bit about how we're going to close out the interview, and not even the interview, the talk here,
Yeah.
because we've got some things to talk about off air. And what else do we have to do? We have to watch Dave tonight. We have to set our schedule. Look at the following segment is going to be two things. We're going to hear about one other passion of Adam's that's a little bit in the rearview mirror, but it's still in there, and that's gaming, multiple varieties of gaming. And we're also going to talk about, we're going to get him on the hook for future episodes. So.
Hook me, baby.
All right, buddy.
What do we got?
Well, my brother-in-law, Billy Thrust, Billy Guns, you know him well.
Wake up, Billy. Wake up, Billy. Wake up.
He's been at the pool party a few times. He's a big Diablo guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I know, and I actually found out through him or through Jessica that you were big into that particular game. I saw your setup. I know you have a gaming setup, but talk about your video gaming background.
Yeah, so I guess if we're going to talk about Diablo for just a brief moment.
You can talk about any gaming.
Yeah,
It's open forum for you.
But yeah, Diablo definitely was one of the ones from my childhood that was really important to me. Back when the first iMac came out, my parents had it. It was a purple iMac. And
It had like the clear, translucent.
Yeah, that thing. And I had Diablo 1 on there and just lost so much time in that game growing up. And then Diablo 2 came out and I played that. I'd stay up at night through school way too late. After my parents went to bed, they thought I was sleeping. I'd put a blanket over the monitor and me, so if they looked down, they couldn't see the light from the screen.
Had to be hot in there.
Yeah, but I was just like going to town like super late. And yeah, Diablo is definitely one of the games I spent the most time in growing up.
What is it? Is it a first-person shooter?
Oh, it's like a action RPG, dungeon crawler, looter sort of thing.
Doom, kind of.
Yeah, like hunting for rare weapons and
Yeah.
killing bosses and all that stuff. But
So it's strategic.
yeah.
Are you in hell? Why is it called Diablo?
Yeah, you're going down to fight like these different,
Beelzebub.
Mephisto and Diablo and Dariel and all these demons, basically. So
That was your entree into gaming?
yeah, it was definitely one of the first ones. I mean, you got 007, Final Fantasies, all those, but yeah, one of the bigger passions would probably be like music games.
Yeah.
Like Dance Dance Revolution and In the Groove, Pump It Up.
Are they all dance games?
I was more of a specialist in the dance games, but I play the other ones too. Beat Mania. It's like a DJ one, kind of. Not really DJing, but it looks like a DJ controller.
Yeah, you're kind of like time. You have to time.
Yeah.
You have to hit things at the right time.
Yeah, but DDR, I used to play competitively. I would like throw tournaments to at local arcades, and in 2008, I beat the 2007 world champion in a matchup in Detroit. I didn't win that tournament, but I beat him in that matchup. So that was really cool for me, seeing like somebody that I looked up to in the DDR community. But
Was he gracious with the loss?
yeah, I believe so. I don't really remember too much except being excited.
He
But
quit the game.
yeah, but yeah. There's videos of me playing that game where like I'm eating a double cheeseburger while I'm playing a song.
Kirk?
And,
Cut to the video.
oh my god.
That was maybe not Adam doing that, but it will be. You have some video, right?
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube, but
It'll be spliced in.
yeah, there's lots of footage of me playing dance games on YouTube that other people posted, and I didn't like have a channel, so I didn't post that stuff myself. But yeah, there's lots of footage out there.
Did you finish that entire burger?
Here's your pop.
You are so fat.
An entire quarter pound
And what'd you get? You started.
during the duration.
Hang on, wait. Wow. You just starred a double quarter pounder with cheese. How do you feel?
Okay, I want to go to McDonald's. Stuck in my throat right now. Feel great, actually.
Drink your soda.
Yeah, there's lots of footage out there. Skinny Adam, after hours of
Adam.
rugby practice, going to the arcade to play DDR for hours and get even sweatier and grosser.
So many layers to this guy. We haven't even talked about rugby. That'll be a future episode. We'll go to a game or something, and like you can explain it to me because I don't really know it.
Yeah.
So isn't there another one that you're super? Oh, Ingress.
Oh, Ingress. Yeah, I played that for years.
Explain it. That's a pretty unique situation. Like it's kind of a hacker utilizing data. It's not that different than your job. You're kind of like looking through data to figure out what's up. So explain how Ingress works.
Yeah, so it was the precursor to Pokemon Go. That's where Pokemon Go got all of its data. But yeah, basically it's a 2-team game where you sign up and you're either blue or you're green. And me and Vito are on the green team. but there's portals all over the place that are like pieces of art or important buildings or
Landmarks of some
just
sort.
landmarks of some sort. They can be all sorts of things, but you have to physically be in the location to capture the portal. And then the goal is to link portals together over the largest amount of area you can to capture mind units, which are like basically the population under that. That's what the units are. And your team gets scored on how many units you've captured each checkpoint, which is every so hours they do a measurement, and one team comes out ahead.
So it's truly measuring, like the scorekeeping is the amount of data within your area that you control.
Yes.
So basically how many people are using their phones within there.
Yeah, pretty much, because that's what it tracks to know it takes cell phone data and stuff. So
right.
Yeah. But
So I was told, you told me, and I think Vito also told me, that some of these locations, you can remind me of the name as you explain it, are maybe like you have to take a boat to do it out in the middle of Lake Michigan or something. What are those called?
I mean, you can call them anchor portals, like, because they're like the anchor to your large fields, which are what the triangles are that you make.
So you might have you might have a point, you would have a point of your triangle there, but clearly until you hit land, you're not going to get a lot of population or units in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's more just a strategic thing that it's hard to take. It's out in the middle of the water.
Exactly.
But it's not until you hit land that you start to get credit for.
Exactly. And you can't cross other existing links. So if somebody's got a link in your way, you have to send somebody there to go kill it with weapons
physically.
Yeah, with you have to farm weapons too. Every portal you hack it and you get gear from it, and you got to do that repeatedly to get a lot.
Yeah.
So we would spend hours, like days. We'd stay up for like 24 hours straight, like driving around, hacking portals, like dominating the whole area to the point where we were like kind of like infamous in the area.
Listen, people, like, until I really saw the interface and you guys explained it to me enough, I didn't quite grasp what was going on. But when he says they're driving around, it's not like within the game. They're driving around in their personal car to geographic locations. And then oftentimes, and I want to hear about this, Adam, because of his technological background and his coordination skills and all of that, was coordinating some really large operations, like across the country, across the world, where you're actually chatting with people in Japan, you're chatting with people in Russia. Mm-hmm. Explain like what an operation might have been, and talk about one of your favorite ones that you're kind of most proud of, because it's a task, it's a job.
Yeah, it definitely is. You're managing like sometimes tens of people, sometimes a couple hundred people. We're using like walkie-talkie apps on our phones to communicate. And just like a lot of times I was sitting at the computer, I was an operator. So I would draw the plans, like pick the portals that would be the most remote or get the most amount of layers. Cause you layer these triangles on top of each other to maximize it.
Like the thicker density you would get. Yeah,
exactly. So you'd find portals that are like right next to each other, but just enough that you can squeeze them by and make the triangle over top like slightly bigger. And so, we draw up these plans using like obscure little towns out in the middle of nowhere and like lighthouse portals and, all sorts of weird shit that you can't get in, like parks that close at dark and are gated. You pick these points and then you have to go get keys to them, which takes hacking and time. So you have to physically go there and get them and then transport them to somebody who's in Wisconsin,
But how do you do that? You send that, or you actually drive it to them?
Or? They come over, or you drive over there. Yeah. I mean, you physically have to like go there. So there's a lot of like coordination months in advance of like getting keys to plans that we wouldn't execute for months. So then we would take weeks to have people clear links that were in the way and keep the lanes kind of clear. So it didn't look like we were up to no good, but it made it easy for us to go in at the last second and have somebody knock it down. You have people at each point at the exact same time, take all the blockers out of the way. And then you have the people at the end points throwing the other links to make the triangles, and you do it all within seconds, and
it's very much like a coordinated hack attack, which is kind of similar to what's going on now in the supply chain and stuff, which I know you know a lot about too. Yeah. So basically, the reason coordinating and timing it all so right is that there's a blue side of this whole thing too.
They're trying to block you,
and if they see some suspicious activities, they'll do something to stop it, right?
Especially if you see somebody like me or Vito or one of the other big players on either team that were like.
So there's a map interface where they can tell it's you and you have a certain credential or something, or the username,
it shows you everybody that's making any action on the map, and there were like little markers where it would show you like a flag of their color with their name on it, so you knew like who was where at every moment as soon as it happened. And so it became very strategic to the point where like I had to like not be out. Yeah, I had to just be coordinating, because if I was out, they knew we were doing something crazy. So
you almost have to go on like diversions or something. Like we can go to Hot Now for that one. We should make Hot Now a portal.
It should be. It's not.
So that's pretty cool. I didn't even know like all this stuff existed. So you guys are thinking about Pokemon Go because it uses a lot of the same kind of tracking technology. But Pokemon Go, of course, has the comic book cartoon part of it. Whereas when you look at this interface, if you were like, look, if you're listening or watching this, if you were to have the Ingress interface right now, you would be able to see that you are probably within a region that's captured by green or blue.
Yeah.
No matter where you're listening to this, and probably outside of Africa and Antarctica and stuff, pretty much everywhere else is covered.
I captured portals in Tokyo.
In Tokyo? When you were there?
Yeah, I got keys from there, yeah.
I mean,
Portals there, yeah.
So it's a cool game because not only does it take advantage of your skill as a hacker, but
makes you travel.
But it makes you to go see stuff.
We saw all sorts of stuff. I would have never gone to all these lighthouses and weird towns in the middle of nowhere. And like we've seen so much of Michigan and even like Wisconsin and Illinois that it's wild. I would have never gone to these places ever.
And it was a positive thing. And you went with your friends.
Oh yeah, meet a bunch of really cool people. Like I met a lot of contacts playing Ingress, like in the professional world that do all sorts of different things. So
yeah, it's just like a little fraternity. At the same time, how does it not become, even though there's no stakes other than pride or winning the game or whatever, how does it not leak over into real life where like the blue team gets into altercations or stalks you? You know what I'm saying? Does that ever happen?
Yeah. I mean, I dated this girl for a while and we ended up breaking up, and she actually started dating basically like my arch nemesis on the other team. He was like the other like max level player on the enemy team that coordinated all their stuff.
His name was like,
and she switched teams. She switched teams, and they would just come down to like the town I lived in and like capture all the portals around my house just to let me know I was there and like just do a bunch of dumb shit. And they were always there. As soon as I did anything, they'd drive down and take it down just to like mess with me.
You're dating. She was a turncoat.
Yeah, it was
Benedict Arnold.
So yeah, wild love story. Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Someday we'll go on a mission or something and document it. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You know. So this is the phase of the interview where I basically try to rope Adam into as many future commitments as possible. Now look, I'm taking a chance here because I have no idea how he's being received. Are you guys liking Adam?
I don't know. I'm pretty weird. I got so much.
That's the best part. He's awesome. So if you can't tell, he's a special guy. He's positive. He grew up following his parents, I haven't met them, but I can just tell by the way you talk about them. You were raised well. Your dad's a federal public defender, which is like, I can't even tell you how awesome that is.
Yeah, he's retired now, but
retired, but I mean, he spent a lot of his career doing that. Mm-hmm. And that's, people that are facing federal crimes and can't afford defense need it more than anybody. Mm-hmm. It's pretty awesome. I'd love to get him on the show. So that's part of this is he's got to come on.
All right. I've told him. I've mentioned it. He did check out the pool party episode, and he said he liked that a lot.
Oh, cool.
He said he liked your insight on things. So.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm sure I'll like your insight too, counselor. Yeah. But for you personally, we're going to do Hot Now. That's coming up.
Yep. That'll be one. Yep.
We're going to do it. I want to do a live set in the attic where people are dancing here, and like we'll get a lot of footage of you just straight up playing. But maybe you can also kind of teach us some of the stuff that you were explaining here.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of people...
A little tutorial?
Yeah, a little tutorial. I think a lot of people don't... Well, first off, there's a lot of DJs that aren't doing shit, okay? And no disrespect, but like a lot of people that you see at a wedding or something, that's not what they're doing. They're just setting their...
You let one track end and you play it just as outros going. And then it's...
Right. But so I think it'd be cool for people to really gain an appreciation for what it takes to really keep the dance floor packed, which is kind of your metric.
Yeah, it's all about... playing stuff is going to make people move. So,
and I've seen it with you. Sometimes you play something that you aren't necessarily yourself. You like all the music you have and play, but like sometimes you're playing something that you think is going to be off the wall, but then you just roll with it because the floor fills up or something.
Yeah, which is cool. Just keep going with the vibe. Yeah, you just feel it out. Yeah.
Do I ever give the wrong kind? Like, do I ever indicate to you that I'm not interested in the music or anything?
No,
because I'm always digging it.
Yeah. I didn't think you were going to be that into it, but I mean, you guys are always into it. So
yeah, we're always dancing. It's cool. Yeah. It's a cool vibe. Okay, so that's one. We should do an Ingress mission. Is it Ingress?
Yeah.
And we should do an Ingress mission.
Vito and I have been talking about getting back into it and like throwing a big triangle somewhere, big field. But we'll see. I still have plans drawn up from years ago that we've never used. So
haven't executed. As long as your ex-girlfriend didn't somehow get control of it.
Yeah, I think they quit. So hopefully, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So folks listening, what part of the episode today did you appreciate hearing about the most? And let me know. And we can dive into that more.
Let me know. I want to know what part of my life you thought was the most boring. Probably the truck soap talk.
Yeah, unfortunately that's gonna be the one I'm probably gonna be most involved with moving forward.
It's exciting to me, but I mean listening to that, I mean I'm sure nobody wants to hear about soap.
That's a nice chemical reaction.
Yeehaw.
No, but I mean, I think people do want to hear about soap. Everyone's got you did not, you a year ago did not think you were going to be passionate about wax replacement products. Or
Yeah,
so.
absolutely not. But here I am.
But the reality is, the widget doesn't matter so much, right? You're using like a pretty cutting edge, despite it being in kind of a dinosaur market, if you will. You're using cutting edge SEO and cutting edge advertising techniques and tracking and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think you can apply that everywhere.
I think it's my gaming past. Like it's my desire to want to like min max the company like I would a character and like level it up and like get the best stats, you know, pump the most juice into it.
Yeah.
So
don't you think there's some link there with your DJing too?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like it's all you're a technical guy. It's creativity mixed in there, but it's at the end of the day you're a technical guy.
I'm definitely a perfectionist and like I get obsessive about things that I really love. And so like I'll get really into it to the point where I'm confident that I'm like the best at it or up there at the top, and then like I'm like, all right, I'll go try to learn this new thing now, you know.
Yeah, I beat the national champion from 07. I'm done with this.
It's unfortunate. I mean, it's I wish I could get into more things because like I just love learning new stuff a lot.
That's the thing, like you are more open to learning new things than most people, I would say.
Yeah.
But when you have an obsessive perfectionist nature like you, it's going to be hard for you to take on a bunch of stuff because you just have to commit too much time to the individual things.
I don't like it when I'm not good at it or when I don't have enough time to get good at it. Because everything you can get good at, right? So
like even your DJing, you started on vinyl.
Mm-hmm. I actually started with just a mouse, just dragging it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, vinyl and CDJs back in the day.
So and this is something that I really harped the first day I met Adam and all these guys. I was kind of just curious because I'm just curious about like kind of what is DJing to you and why, you know. And I was really moved by the fact that you were putting it on Twitch, and I asked you how many people were watching. You're like, I don't know, 2, 5. I don't know if I can care.
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't even have it up. I don't just.
But you don't even care though. Like, and that I think there's something cool about that. You can be really good. I think you're a professional level DJ. You already were, and I think if you really committed all of your time that you're putting into the other things, that you could probably do something there. Yeah. I know you could.
Yeah, I already got the marketing background. So
you could sell your.
I just don't want to.
You just don't really want to, but that doesn't mean that there's any less value to the art.
True.
And also, if you
think so.
like Ben, who I think is pretty good too. He's like, I didn't notice a bunch of issues when he was playing. He's new, and like. He still there's still value on him, even though he probably thinks he's screwing up all the time. Like,
oh yeah, he could play gigs in Grand Rapids at a bar and
nobody would know.
Nobody would know he just started. So
no,
I mean, Ben's good. Ben's gonna listen to this. I'll tell him about it.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Ben could make money DJing at bars in Grand Rapids.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, not an issue.
And then Ben also spins fire. A lot of the folks at the pool party spin fire. It's just I don't know. There's something moving about seeing creative people that aren't just trying to claw to the top of the industry or something. Mm-hmm. There's something inspiring about seeing that as well. But a lot of people don't start something because they think, well, I'm not going to be a pro or anything. Who cares?
Yeah.
You already are a pro at whatever your job is, or if you're, a full-time parent or whatever. It's like, and that's cool. I was inspired by that, seeing that out of you guys.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, baby.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot more of that coming up.
Next time we see Adam, we'll be
hot now.
We'll be knee
deep in burgers.
No,
baby.
we'll be en route because we're gonna have some. We'll have to do some like our favorite hot now stories on the way.
Okay.
People, let me know what you thought of Adam. If you like him, if you don't like him, go pound sand. I'm not interested in your opinion. How can you not like this guy?
I don't know. He's
the ad man for a lot of reasons. He's a good dude. Thanks for coming on, Adam.
Thanks for having me. Had a good time. Good beers.
Super dry.
Yeah. See ya.
Peace.